أطعتني لأزينن لهم في الأرض ولأغوينهم أجمعين إلا عبادك منهم المخلصين.
We are witnessing a great change in the world. A materialistic world full of deception and trials, in which ابلیس and his loyal army make the ugliness look beautiful in your eyes and present it to you as worldly pleasures to deceive you. The evil and corruption is reaching its climax. So we are living in a time of the great fitnahs.
Fitnah is a very deep concept in Islam. A fitnah can be a trial or a tribulation, a type of punishment. A fitnah can also be a test that you're put under. A fitnah can also be a gray area where you're not sure which way to go. You don't know whether to go to the left or to the right. You're in a state of confusion. That may be one of the worst forms of fitnah. And so that is striking our community today.
The Prophet ﷺ says, فِتَنٌ كَقَطْعِ اللَّيْلِ الْمُظْلِمِ يَصْبِحُ الْمَرْءُ فِيهِ مُؤْمِنًا وَيُمْسِي كَافِرًا. Fitan will be so much, fitan will be everywhere like dark night. As you are living in that pitch dark night, you will be unable to see anything. In that time, the Prophet ﷺ said, a person will be in the morning a mu'min. He didn't say Muslim, he said mu'min, means he's a believer. And in the same night, the same person will be kafir. Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine what kind of fitan that we will live in, or we will live, or we are living in actually? The Prophet ﷺ says, فَتَجِيءُ فِتَنٌ يُرَقِّقُ بَعْضُهَا بَعْضًا. There will be more fitan will come every time. Each fitna will come, it will be more horrific and more destructive than the previous fitna. Which means the fitan that we are living right now, it is more severe than the fitan last year or 2 years or 5 years ago. And then the next year and the coming up years, 3, 2, 4, 5 years, it will be more horrific and it will be more terrifying and it will be more destructive fitna that people will face. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. And this is what the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, that each fitna will come, it will be more severe than the previous one.
Do you know why evil and corruption is hyping to its peak? Because we live in a world that's strangely controlled by sick people. They spend billions of dollars every year to promote indecency, immorality, corruption, atheism, and instilling their lies into the public mind through the media and politics.
We are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised.
They're the ones that control the transnational corporations, governments, the banking system, the whole shebang that dictates and controls the direction of society. They can do horrendous things that we couldn't even contemplate because we have empathy with the victims of our actions. They do not. Without that emotional consequence, there are no limits, and we see that on the news every day.
One of the signs of the Day of Judgment is what? That a person is sitting in maybe end of the world, and he will say kalimatan, he will say a word of lie, and that word will go all the way from Mashriq till Maghrib, from east till west. And this is what happening. A person is sitting in front of a TV or a social media and whatsoever, people just lying, and people are just saying things which is not true, and other people are believing. My brothers and sisters, we used to live in a time when we used to do the munkar. We used to reject and deny and say zina is haram. But today's time, we deny and reject and we say the action of Qawm Lut is haram. And we're telling and talking to the people because zina becomes something normal, unfortunately, right? So we are telling people right now that the Qawm Lut and the Amal Qawm Lut and whatsoever they are doing, it's so severe. Be away from it. Allahu A'lam what will come in future. May Allah protect us. Before we used to, my brothers and sisters, say al-khamr haram, and we used to say alcohol, we reject alcohol and we say it's haram, and we used to do the munkar of alcohol. Nowadays we are telling people that we reject and deny the drugs and all forms of the drugs that is everywhere, right? Call it pills, call it candies, call it whatsoever, everywhere. Subhanallah. Before we used to call to people and we do the munkar, we used to reject and deny the women who are not wearing hijab or putting makeup and perfume and going outside, and we used to deny that and reject that. But now we are rejecting and denying and doing the munkar of those men copying and following and imitating women. Subhanallah. If you say anything about these LGB and whatsoever you call it, and if you say out loud and you talk about it in a halal way, in a right way, and as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you to do, you will be the criminal. You will be stopped from the traveling. You will have the travel ban. You will be accused as a criminal. You will be, put fine on you. You will be jailed. Why? Because you said the haqq at the time when there is, unfortunately, they are making the haqq haram and haram haqq and halal haram. Subhanallah. And wala hawla wala quwwata illa billah. This is the time that we are living in, that everything that you will do right, it is wrong. And everything that you do wrong, it is, going with the flow. And everyone is going with the flow. Subhanallah.
The system offers you worldly pleasures that you will never get unless you become a part of the system and serve it. And do you know what it makes of you? A slave. Or in other words, you have to sell your deen to get the dunya. This is indeed a business, a deceptive business, which will end up with an irreparable loss.
يبيعون أخلاقهم من أجل أو بغرض من الدنيا. They're selling their deen, they're selling their principles, they're selling whatsoever they have from morality and everything because of this dunya. Imagine someone is selling the deen because of a little bit of money, bucks, dinars, dirham, or a position or whatsoever from the dust or from the rubbish of this dunya, and they have no problem with it. This is the time that we are living in, that everything is changing so fast that you don't know what to do and what not to do, how you protect yourself and your families.
So these seditions are increasing rapidly day by day in order to prepare the world for the arrival of the biggest fitnah.
The Prophet ﷺ said, O my people, there has been no fitnah on the face of this earth, no trial on the face of this earth, since Allah Azza wa Jal created the children of Adam, the offspring of Adam. There has been no trial on this earth, and there will be no trial on this earth until the day of judgment that is greater than the trial of the Masih Dajjal.
Dear viewers, what you're going to see in the next few episodes of this series is a research-based documentary about the arrival of Al-Masih Dajjal, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, and the state of Muslim Ummah on those severe times. Since these are of the great signs of the hour and the biggest tribulations in the history of mankind, the whole topic needs a real analytical research. Therefore, we have put a lot of time and effort to produce this documentary, which will be different from most documentaries and films you've ever seen. So by acquiring this knowledge, you can prepare yourself against these great fitnas, inshallah.